The MBA is challenging. It's challenging. It requires, critical reflections, but it's fun. If you put your heart to it, your mind to it, it's actually fun. It's eye-opening, and for me, like I said, I believe in something that not just gives you a paper or a qualification at the end of the day. It must be something that challenges you and to an extent changes or develops you as a person, before it can prepare you for, your next role or your next promotion. And I found the Henley MBA to be just that, right combination where as a person I've grown, I've developed and I've become more self-aware, and as a result I'm able to be, a better colleague to my co-workers. I believe in self-development and continuous self-development, and for me I think it was important to take things a notch higher. I've always been doing, comms, strategic comms, and I thought the MBA, especially the Henley MBA, was the right, next step for me to be able to challenge my thinking, to challenge my, mindset around business growth, and just the approach that Henley, I think, has taken to the MBA program. It's refreshing how Henley has approached, the MBA program. The fact that in the very, very early stages, they would, encourage one to bring their family along, workshops that include families, so that they know what their, spouses or their partners or their, children would be signing up to. I also like the flexibility that it has. Indeed, when it's called the flexible MBA, it is flexible in that sense that it appreciates that we're not, just students, but we family people, we line managers, we employees. So there's a whole lot of, an ecosystem that depends on us. And I think their approach in terms of making sure that when, the going gets tough, they do give you the time, and flexibility to attend to other commitments and come back again, give your full, attention to your studies is quite incredible. People do the MBA for different reasons. Like I said, for me, it was about self-development. And I'm glad that in that I found much more, than I was asking for. Others, it's purely for the next role, and I'm not going to say that it's a wrong motive to go about it, but know why you are getting into it, and I think to a large extent it will determine the level of effort and commitment that you put into it. Anyone wishing to do it, the results are, I would say, they're quite tangible and intangible, but it's a lifelong process where you'll reap the benefits, from this initial investment. So go for it. The biggest aha moment for me, I think, it was when I came to, I may sound cheesy for many, but I emphasize this a lot. We are the ones that we've been waiting for, or I am the one that I have been waiting for. Most of the things that I need to do, or most of the changes that I need to see in my life, I already am capable of that. I just need to begin. In the early stages, it may not be clear, in terms of what, I need to do, but just begin. Whatever is it that you need to do, just start, and the process will eventually reveal itself to you as you start. So most of the time, we wait for the perfect moment. We plan a lot, and we just never get over the line of starting. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be, squeaky clean, but just start, and everything else will begin to, align as you start the journey. Most of the MBAs are strictly, academic, pegged with just academic, and you find that people don't have a lot of application outside of the business industry once they've completed their studies. And when I was doing my research and I come across the Henley, MBA as something that challenges one to think out of, the box, so to speak. So it's not just academic, it's personal. It's challenging you as a person and asking you actually critical questions to say, now that you have this information, what can you do to bring about the difference, first in your life and then on to others and of course corporate. For me, it was the whole journey around purpose, and finding my purpose, understanding it and really linking it to I would say, my passion. And it was incredible because it actually came about through personal development, which is one module that most of us find a bit challenging. But it was during that exercise where issues about my principles, my values, being moral, being impactful in the society where I come from, forced me to sort of internally reflect to say, what am I passionate about? What are the resources that are available to me at this present moment, that I can take advantage of in order to be impactful in my society? I come from that humble background where there were moments, I'd go to school without shoes, go to school without food, go to school without proper uniform. Actually, most of my high school life, I would go to school without uniform. And I've seen some of, the learners that were, in a similar situation as myself. Most of them have dropped out. I've taken, my passion for running, to link it to, a purpose that is close to my heart. I think it's certainly one of those changes, with many asking, where did this come from? It was thought of madness in the beginning. In the area where I come from, Mpumalanga Rural Bushbuck Ridge, there are still young kids that go to school barefoot. There are still girls that miss. Research shows that up to 50 days of schooling because they don't have access to, sanitary wear and all of that. And to me, it was like, this is it. This is the space that I can at least lend a hand. I'm a social runner, and I decided to run for a purpose. It was 450 kilometers in 12 days from Gauteng to Mpumalanga to raise at least 60,000 so that we can support 450 school children. The response was actually significant, more than expectations. We were then able to raise more than 115,000 in cash donations, as well as more than 50,000 in-kind donations. So from trying to help 450 kids, we end up in a situation now where we are able to help more than 1,250 kids with school shoes and sanitary towels. So quite incredible. And this is me saying, let's start building those future leaders from early on, support them, because you never know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, there will be lots of Thembas that will be building businesses in Africa and really shaping it to what we all want it to become. My role now is to stand and be that shining light, and bringing as many partners that I can into to saying, here is a need, here's a community like Bushbuck Ridge. I know there are many others where young ones are there, there's potential, but we need to support them, so that they can become, like us and even be better, than us. So it's really a call for me, I think, to action. One of the things that I'm looking forward to champion now is to, find partners that, we can ensure that we bring some form of, digital literacy and connectivity to areas such as Bushbuck Ridge, so that when kids are not able to attend, physical classes, at least there would be, some form of online education where they continue to learn. Let's pull together and make sure that we bring as many leaders out of the humble beginnings, that they are currently facing. And that's why I even continue to study now and develop myself. I'm excited to be part of the Henley alumni. Actually, I just received good news this week that I've been allocated a mentor. So I'm looking forward to gaining a lot from them. It's an international mentor, so hopefully I will learn a lot from them, and they'll also be learning a lot from me.